In February of 2020, I was asked to attend an NYU Board of Trustees luncheon with select NYU students, administrators, and faculty. It was during that lunch that Trustee Jeffrey S. Gould asked our group of students a simple question. There are 1.2 million empty shipping containers in the United States sitting in ports and depots rusting away. What do we do with them? Jeffrey had flown into Newark Airport when coming into New York City from his home in Florida. And each time he noticed the same thing. Thousands of shipping containers stacked along the port and along the New Jersey Turnpike with no sign of movement on the ground. It puzzled him and led him to wonder what could be done with them to better our society. What I didn't realize was that question alone, what do we do with them, would bring me on what is a 14-month-long journey in an attempt to be part of the solution to some of the most pressing matters related to a housing crisis. The evening after the lunch, I followed up with Jeffrey, presenting him with an unsolicited, short research report I had quickly prepared on providing disaster relief housing utilizing unused shipping containers. It was a perfect fit, and that was the project he was embarking on through his new company, PortableContainers.net. Taking me under his wing, he brought me onto a team of subject matter experts who were working together to solve this problem. Our mission statement was clear: to design temporary housing out of unused shipping containers for disaster relief applications. The realization that there was a need for a new disaster relief solution came in the wake of Hurricane Harvey. By and large, families had two main options: a FEMA trailer from the public sector or a hotel voucher from the private sector. Thousands of FEMA trailers had been shipped to the Houston area to house individuals who had lost their homes. These FEMA trailers were no different than the typical mobile home. They were manufactured from plastic, aluminum, and particle board. Therefore, they were somewhat flimsy and required more maintenance than a permanent structure. They were also poorly insulated, offered little sound insulation, and were known to sway in high winds. In the case of Hurricane Harvey, after an average use of just 12 months, the FEMA trailer began the process of selling the used and leftover trailers to the public via online auctions. Trailers that reportedly cost FEMA around $65,000 each were being sold on government auction websites with bids starting as low as $100. This was because calling them mobile homes was quite a misnomer. Once these trailers are set up, the weak frame of the home negates the ability to be moved multiple times. There needed to be a better way to house families following a disaster, and that's why the hotel voucher system was offered to support families where the FEMA trailers failed. Alongside the current disaster relief manufactured house models, many insurance policies provide hotel vouchers in the wake of a disaster. With the current average price of a hotel room in America just over $180 per night, a family of 3 displaced from their home for 2 months will cost insurance companies over $10,000 in hotel fees. If the family consists of 5 or more and requires 2 rooms, the number can double to over $20,000 for just 2 months of temporary housing. Following Hurricane Harvey, a fellow NYU colleague of mine, a high schooler at the time, was displaced from his home for 2 months due to flood damage. Their family decided to move into a friend's home instead of utilizing the hotel voucher program. Chatting about the complexity of the situation, he told me, staying at our friend's house was much nicer than opting for the local La Quinta, which actually wasn't local at all, but rather miles away from their damaged home and outside his school district. And at that hotel, like most hotels, had no more than 2 beds, a microwave, and a mini fridge. What was clear to the PortAble team was that the existing disaster relief model was broken. We designed our solution to be affordable, portable, rapidly accessible, and reusable. Our solution, named Sheltainer, is designed as a family-friendly 320 square foot home, 2-bedroom home with a full bathroom, kitchen, out of a 40-foot shipping container. For individuals, we have a 160 square foot, 1-bedroom design made out of a 20-foot shipping container. By utilizing standard shipping containers, we design our units to fit seamlessly into existing transportation infrastructure, allowing them to be quickly sent to a disaster-struck area via truck, ship, or train. Units can be used on the grid or off the grid, creating a solution for any disaster situation. And built to last, our homes are designed to sustain an average lifespan of 7 years, and the natural rigidity of the containers means the homes can be redeployed, retrieved, restored, and prepared for redeployment when the next disaster strikes and recovery begins. Amortized over its lifetime, the PortAble Sheltainer is a more cost-effective, environmentally friendly solution than the one-use FEMA trailer. Alongside our housing solution, our team has designed MedTainer, portable medical units. Using an innovative, compact design from upcycled shipping containers, the MedTainer provides space for life-saving medical triage operations and the use of 21st century telemedicine capabilities. With our flagship model of the Sheltainer fully underway in the design process, we were pushing full steam ahead to roll out this disaster relief solution on scale for the summer of 2021. But when the pandemic hit this past year, the inequities that were exacerbated during this crisis gave rise to the need for a more sustainable housing solution more broadly. It became clear how inadequate housing was a contributing factor to stagnating multi-generational wealth, increased public health risks, and rising economic disparity. This became all the more clear as the year progressed. Home prices in January of this year, typically a slow month for the market, were up 14% over the same month the previous year, while home sales jumped 24% despite an unemployment rate that was almost twice as high as the previous year. Demand for existing homes is so strong that the average residence is on the market for just 3 weeks, and inventory is at a record low after seeing its steepest drop last year since the data was first tracked in 1999. All of this threatens to freeze broad swaths of the population out of the market, leaving millions of Americans in a less secure financial position, widening the racial wealth gap, and forcing millennials, already lagging behind previous generations in building wealth and forming families, to fall even further behind. This should concern all of us. The right to adequate housing is a human right, recognized in international human rights law as part of a right to an adequate standard of living. This was first referenced in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948. We have a responsibility to ensure everyone has access to housing through a mix of private, public, and civil society solutions. And even prior to the jump in housing prices and a decrease in available inventory, we could not point to a single city, county, or community in the United States that has provided sufficient housing to meet the demand. Today, we are facing increasing delays and rising costs due to a shortage in our global supply chains. The pandemic shut down manufacturing, causing rapid increases in even standard supplies like lumber, up a staggering 185% from where it was last year. And we've all seen the culprit, whether we know it or not, either in our neighborhood or around our town, a house being framed 1 2x4 at a time, taking months to complete. This process is subject to wearing, weathering, and even warping throughout the process as the unfinished structure stands against the elements. In the city, lumber is replaced with steel beams, but the process still remains the same, building the structure one piece at a time. When we look at the standard housing construction, we notice that almost every industry in the world has undergone a revolution of efficiency, but not housing. We still build a home like we would in the Middle Ages, having different guilds, from the carpenter to the plumber to the electrician, coming one at a time, often contracted individually and on their own timeline. The antiquated process is slow, costly, and quite frankly, ineffective. To solve the complex issue of ensuring Americans have access to adequate housing, we must design a myriad of solutions that fits every socioeconomic background and every geographical area. What we found is our Sheltainer fits seamlessly with the natural affordability and availability of manufactured housing, as well as the sustainability our world needs. All across the country, manufactured homes have been a critical source of affordability for families. a 21st century efficient technological approach is needed to answer the call. PortableContainers.net plans to use mass manufacturing processes to create quality homes that can meet the budget of American families and support nonprofits who seek to provide increased access to affordable housing. At PortAble, one of our manufacturing facilities is in Calverton, New York, located inside of the former Northrop Grumman manufacturing facility for World War II warplanes. We are in the process of retrofitting this space to continue the efficiency of the assembly line, but to create sustainable housing, adopting modern methods. The structure's specialization not only streamlines the process, decreasing construction lead times, but also provides a highly economical solution, increasing the affordability of the sheltainer. We turn to shipping containers to not only increase the speed of which our logistics can operate, but also decrease the carbon footprint of our construction. This solution allows us to decrease reliance on lumber, steel, and concrete, materials that are proving to be increasingly costly and hold a heavy carbon impact. When a sheltainer is completed, we require no special transportation or machinery, but can rather utilize a vibrant network of options to efficiently and effectively deliver the home to its end user. When a sheltainer arrives on site, installation can be swift, sometimes requiring only several hours of on-site preparation for a full home installation. This allows families in need to receive the key to the front door faster and begin their lives in their new, modern, sustainable home. The pandemic called attention to many issues facing our society, homelessness and affordable housing specifically. We now see more than ever that access to housing is critical for public health and societal well-being. This need for housing is coupled with our society's need for low carbon impact solutions. One container at a time, we can turn unused steel boxes into quality, affordable homes with millions of unused shipping containers to achieve our goals. Case in point, unused shipping containers in the Port of Tampa can be transformed into sheltainers to help provide homes to families in Florida following a hurricane. And the containers simply sitting in the Port of Newark can be upcycled into a home for a family of 4 on Long Island. By ensuring we create something that is affordable and environmentally friendly, we are confident that we can help impact communities that are in a critical need of adequate housing solutions. It will take the involvement of the public sector, private sector, nonprofits, and foundations working together. We must all seek to support the most vulnerable with novel ideas and a mindset to provide help, with the goal of ensuring the human right of having a home. Thank you.